Grand Slam CrossFit Jesus is in the house. Paige says her goodbye to the ring. Some NXT superstars make the jump to Raw. And there were winners, losers, and us left waiting, wanting more. All on Raw AfterBuzz TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All right, so this is, you guys watched the show before, you already know how I feel, but I feel like I can't put my feelings, can't get emotional to it, so congratulations to Kid Rock.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
My God, he didn't even sing at the damn show. We're like, oh, the only reason he's getting inducted, he's clearly singing to introduce the Undertaker.
Undertaker.
Not even there. No Motorhead. No Cyndi Lauper. No. Get it together, WWE.
Come on, man.
So, but that's what they do. They had a lot of stuff that a lot of people were predicting, and they totally did it off the wall. So, however, I know you guys are coming for us, or coming for, me, because the rest of the casts are not here. So, Marquita, she's doing something. Johnny, I believe he still is in New Orleans, and so is True Hobo. So they should be back next week. I don't know. Hit them up on their social media. You guys know all
Harass
that
them,
stuff.
follow them, yeah.
I just show up, guys. Anywho, we do have some guest hosts with us. Really appreciate you guys. So we have the very end, Janel SantaCruz.
Hello, everybody.
Host for Hyper RPG, and then brought a friend along, Cameron Rice.
Oh, Cameron brought me. But yeah.
EC3.
Also host for Hyper RPG. And of course, you guys know the one, the only, the lovely Anissa Barr, host for Women's Pro Wrestling. And she just let me know, told Bellas is going to be coming back in May. So she's going to be the host for that as well.
Yes, so excited. Cool. Lots of fun. This is what wrestling's all about, is having fun. Apparently, I'm the Roman Reigns of AfterBuzz TV. So,
it's going to be a fun time.
Anissa's just like, man, I got trolled last week.
Oh, I did, but it was fun.
Well, I was going to say, what does that mean? They keep giving you big shows, but the audience doesn't want you to have them? 4 years running?
Okay, well, speaking of
all fun.
Can you also turn up my levels on 1, please? Because I can't hear anything. So we start off everything for... There we go. That's kind of a little too loud, but it's a little lower. Guys, technical difficulties. Anyways,
let's go.
I loved WrestleMania. I'm glad. It's a love-hate relationship because I like to go to events and actually want to work. I don't want to work the whole time, but want to put in some work. So I'm glad. No offense to the folks who sat there for a billion hours. I'm glad I was able to watch it in comfort and get paid by different folks to watch it in comfort. So I'm really appreciating that. And
damn, I want that job.
Oh, man.
Yeah, right.
Come on, man.
Gotta hustle. Gotta hustle. I'll tell you guys about that later. But like I said, if you guys have been following me, all that good stuff, I am a huge supporter with Ronda Rousey, UFC, all that good stuff. And I have to publicly say I was on the fence. And I am definitely sorry for doubting her because here's my feelings. So Ronda Rousey and attacked Stephanie McMahon. But the thing is, what we didn't realize is that Ronda Rousey, as a true athlete, she got to the Olympics. Yeah. She medaled, third place. Out of all the women in America, judo-wise, she got to the Olympics. Yeah. Out of all the countries in the world, she's top 3.
Yeah.
That's
the boss.
Right. Then she gets to the UFC. And, there is some stuff as far as Dana White picking her matches. But either way, she decimated most of her competitors within the first round, except for Miesha Tate. I think they got to round 2 or 3.
I believe so.
But she got all of that until her last 2. Now, you look at UFC, I think it's 223. Do you know any of the women that participated?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we still remember Ronda.
I'm trying to remember, but yeah, I can't. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, good point.
No, she did really great. I mean, I too, I really thought for sure this match was going to be mostly Triple H and Kurt Angle. I said it last week.
Correct, yeah.
Ronda will get tagged in, Armbar Stephanie. It ended up being, in someone time, it's the longest match of the night. It was the longest match at Mania. And I thought she did really great. She's also in there with 2 veterans, and Stephanie, who's also kind of a veteran.
Right.
They took care of her. It was
They
good.
took care of her. They made her look real good. Because I don't know, I will say, and taking no credit away from her, I don't know how she would have done if it was like 2 NXT people, and
Right.
they're all kind
Or
of learning.
Asuka even.
Yeah.
You know.
But it was a really good match. I was actually I was surprised, pleasantly so.
Yeah, I just didn't like the one thing. My critique is just her outfit. Is like you guys could have.
It's pretty MMA.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it just paid respects to Piper.
Yeah, I didn't mind that outfit. Mania was great. NXT was amazing. Takeover was so
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Takeover was one of those shows where I'm like, oh, every match was great. I can't critique any of the matches.
Right.
They all the right length.
Yeah.
Which leads me to like a possible prediction. So obviously we know, and we'll discuss it, but we might be just jumping back and forth because so much happened over the last 4 days.
Yes.
So Shayna is now the champion.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And Ronda is now officially on Raw for now.
now.
Because they're going to be doing a shakeup
shakeup.
next week. But that kind of leaves the possibility of they're setting up something in the long term as far as year-wise, like all the women from UFC, and there's going to be enough of a women's roster where you can have almost like a battle of some sorts.
I can see
that.
that.
So, you know, Shayna's performance was really great. Obviously, we know Amber Moon kind of came up to Raw, which was awesome because I was kind of pissed off that Amber lost it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But I think that's going to be leading
All
up
part
to
of the
something,
plan.
you know,
Yeah.
either a tag team or something. So I'm really excited about that.
I feel like in a few years we're gonna see the 4 horsewomen of WWE versus the 4 horsewomen of UFC.
Yeah, I think that's gonna happen. And speaking of,
Probably Survivor Series.
yeah. In LA?
Baylor's match when she pulled a Riggs from Lethal Weapon into the ring post. I was like, this is why I love wrestling. It's so silly.
Yeah, it was definitely good. So what do you guys think of everything? So Ronda Rousey, Stephanie McMahon shows up with her arm, you know, in a sling, which is kind of funny.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
She's Stephanie McMahon did so well these past few days.
Yeah.
She's, yeah.
My favorite moment though was when they're taking Stephanie away, and I don't know who, JoJo, one of the announcers was like, "Please give respect to Stephanie
I think it was
McMahon," and
Lily.
that crowd
Show
goes,
some respect.
"Boo!" It's like, anytime the crowd boos so hard, they sound like a bear.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is great, nuclear heat.
Yeah, the crowd was not feeling it, which is good because it was believable and it
Yes.
kind of put her over. So Stephanie McMahon tried to get Ronda on her. You know, it's like, yeah, you did so well. Yeah, I put in a lot of work. You ended up beating me. Why don't you jump on the team so we can, you know, better, you know, put you out to the world. Ronda's like, F that, not happening, and she rips off her cast and
Oh,
As
yeah.
Stephanie saw.
I was expecting Triple H to run out, but he didn't.
Well, so maybe that's worth saying too. Some people who didn't make any appearances on Raw tonight, no
Triple
Triple H, no Asuka. I know she went against Charlotte, but
Right.
there was never really said whether Asuka was off Raw now since she faced Charlotte at Mania.
Right.
No Asuka. Also, Kurt Angle, despite the fact that he put Stephanie in in an angle lock, nothing. She didn't say anything about him.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of
I wanted
interesting.
to see him banged up a little bit. I wanted
Yeah.
to see the results of what happened, but
Yeah, so I mean,
he got.
little moments like that. Like there's little, obviously no Brock. Surprising to nobody, but
Yep.
no Brock. So it's interesting because I feel like WrestleMania is often used as either a season finale or season premiere for some storylines.
Right.
And this was some storylines kind of kept going, some kind of just nothing
out, yeah.
happened today.
Yeah.
My biggest disappointment was, and I love Alexa Bliss, the continuing storyline of like Nia's fat. Nia's
yeah.
so fat.
Perfect timing. So next up is the champion Nia Jax, which I was really happy about.
I was too.
So I'm really interested to see how her mic skills and how she ties that in together. Her outfit was awesome. I also want to say I've been predicting The Rock was supposed to be on WrestleMania.
TK.
And so here's what happened.
What happened?
I was at the red carpet premiere for Rampage, and The Rock so graciously, he's an amazing guy. Like what you see on TV is exactly how he is in person. So
Yeah.
there was a crazy amount of press, and of course, you know, we're not extra. So we were at the latter end of the thing, and he stayed
Sure.
the whole time, got us all. But the latter end, you get 3 or 4 people together just shouting questions. So of course, one of the hosts was there. She asked, okay questions. But my main question is like, are you going to be at WrestleMania? So I yelled out, are you going to be at WrestleMania? And he's like, no. And I'm like, he's lying. I heard, but
he's
then
trolling.
yeah, and then I heard
Yeah.
that I kind of follow him on social media often, and I saw that he was flying out, and I'm like, well, no, he could probably still get back. And then I saw his mom and his daughter at
Right.
WrestleMania, and I'm like, he's backstage. And then he never showed up. So I sent him a tweet just saying, I respect your honesty.
Well, I know that his mom. Yeah, I know that his mom is very close with Nia Jax.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought she was there because I recognized her too. I was like, oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Raw. But yeah, that was very cool.
And no
I was
Cena.
completely wrong.
Cena also not at Raw.
Well, I mean, him and Brock, like Cena's almost on Brock's schedule, kind of thing. So essentially, Ember Moon shows up, which I'm sorry, whoever follows me on Twitter, they noted that yesterday because I was kind of pissed off because whatever, I already told you that, and he's like, well, maybe they're setting up for her to go on Raw. So don't have your name right now, but if you are watching, definitely shout out to you because you called it. And then they go up against Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, and we know the outcome.
I love Mickie James' like ditzy character. I love how she's just like so like with her short shorts and everything.
Yeah.
She's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think she's doing a great job.
Yeah, I think to me, it is the thing of the body shaming storyline, which is like it just I don't think it's working because it's like. I think wrestling fans are too smart now, especially WrestleMania weekend fans. No one's mad at Alexa. We're mad at WWE Creative for writing such a...
Because Alexa does that excellently.
Yeah, she does that excellently. And also, it's knowing too much. I think the curtains pulled back too much. We know they're best friends in real life.
Yeah,
we also know Alexa has had eating disorders. She's openly talked about. So to give, like, as WWE Creative, to be like, here's a storyline where you're going to make fun of your best friend's weight and call her all these names.
But they haven't been posting together, so kudos to them for actually being conscious with that. Because I know it's Nia, she just posts Paige, and I think she posted Renee, but she doesn't post Alexa anymore. So kudos to her for at least
they're staying in storyline. But I think I feel like there's a more natural storyline to tell, which is like because we look like they were going to break up as friends a year ago, so they've been kind of building this. So it seems like the natural ending would have been something along the lines of Alexa being like, oh, I've been using Nia.
Right.
Like, I don't think it needed to turn into, like, this bully-shaming body thing.
Yeah.
No. Like, the whole, she's as dumb as she is large. Like, that was very, very unnecessary. And, she could have, alluded to her being dumb and usable and naive and whatever, but none of that needed to happen.
Yeah. I wasn't all for the storyline because, of course, WWE is all about be a star.
Be a star.
And so when they started to do this storyline, I was a little confused. I said, you guys are all about stop bullying, stop hating, but you're doing this. And especially, I mentioned this before, Grimm did teach his younger daughter to call Nia these names, and Nia called him out on this. So it's confusing why they said it was okay. Hey, let's just do this when this situation just happened. Overall, I hope to see this storyline end very soon.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing is like the argument would be surface level that it's like, well, Alexa's a heel and it's giving her heat, but I don't think it's giving her heat because
she's naturally good at doing.
She's naturally good at a heel. She's great on the mic. It's WWE Creative that's getting heat, which you don't want them to get heat.
No. Yeah, they should be transparent.
And it's a weird storyline that it's like I think both these people deserve. Like I love the match. I love that Nia got the belt.
Right.
But it's one of those things where I'm like, I feel like you were naturally building to something else.
Yeah. Like she could even just take, that's done and take that like I've been through these issues. Now I'm a badass and I'm gonna roll through the locker room and like essentially just take everybody out one by one. Like you almost have her, in the back, like having a list of folks like. Who's going to come for me, and you don't even have to come to me. I will challenge all, like almost that thing where it's like, I've paid my dues, and here I am, and here's my legacy.
Yeah, just make her a monster of a champion.
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely, hope that goes, and I hope it doesn't fizzle out, and they do something, not as entertaining. But speaking of entertaining, No Way Jose.
Oh.
Yeah. One of the call-ups.
Yes.
From NXT as well. He comes in with the conga line. I absolutely love it.
Very fun.
So he proceeds in the conga line. He gets there. He matches up with a local John Skyler, essentially pins him down in less than 2 seconds, and then continues in the conga line and leaves, which is just absolutely amazing. Loved it.
I love it. I am always concerned with a character like that getting called up because I always just see Adam Rose, where it's like someone who is so hot in NXT, and then they get the call up, and Vince is like, "Let's give him a big right after WrestleMania dance moment for the crowd, and then we'll never use him."
I believe it's inevitable. He's going to be used as a squash, like just to put other people over.
Braun will come in and throw him down while he's dancing.
Or since a superstar shakeup is happening, he could probably just go to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Do some fun stuff with.
Hang out with
I
Ty
don't see them
Dillinger.
bringing him up on Raw to just go over there, but yeah, they totally could do that.
But that's the thing, though. It's just like, I mean, as a wrestler, you can can you obviously know who are getting pushed to be the stars.
Yeah.
And then you see this, and you're like, oh, this is fun, but you're like, how long am I going to be doing this conga line fun thing? Like, when will I ever get that chance? And then if you realize that you're never going to get that chance, like, what do you do? Like, you're at the top of the pyramid. Do you just like, kind
of like with the Outcast, how they were all doing
social
that fun,
outcast,
doing all that fun stuff.
It's going to be hard to beat the Austin Aries storyline where he just beat the crap out of him, because that was actually great. The dancing thing when he debated him with the dancing, and then
I think there's also I forgot to talk about this. I love that after every WrestleMania, they've only done it the last 2 years when they keep pushing Roman, is they always have to have, last year was JBL, this year was Corey Graves, where they're like, well, the fans are so passionate, sometimes they'll boo who they love, and then they'll cheer who they hate. That's a weird audience.
And I'm like, crazy audience once a year.
No, it's not.
It's the same. Nope. Because like they're from all over the world. I'm like, no, because I see this one. I'm gonna probably, when I have time, make this my goal. In a lot of the Raw and SmackDown, there's this one guy who holds up the Trinidadian flag. And I notice it because my folks are from the islands, and he's everywhere. Like all the like, you see it randomly all the time, and I'm like, who is this guy, and how does he travel the world and get good seats enough to be on camera to put the flag there? So that's just those
it's just like the guy with the long hair in the front that's always there. Same spot.
Actually, from what I read, a few things and a few sources have said that guy is actually a son of somebody who actually works for the company.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was like, okay, now that makes sense, because
Now
does he travel with them?
well, I said, how do you know that? And he said, oh, because I sat down near him, and I asked him.
Okay.
And he said, oh, my dad works for the company. But that's all he said. He didn't say
what he
anything.
does.
Yeah, there's a ton of positions, though.
So it makes sense. So now it's confirmed, guys.
Now we all know.
Kind of.
So some confirmations: the Revival defeats Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, in a tag team eliminator match.
Yeah, a match that started, and we didn't get to see any entrances.
Because
just came back from commercial.
Braun and his partner Nicholas dropped the titles. Yeah,
I love that.
Awesome.
Relinquished the
so
titles.
good.
So
perfect.
How did they pick? Because obviously he couldn't be just some random person, in the stands, because you have to have some clearance, right?
Of course.
So how did they go about picking this kid?
I'm wondering though, because like if you go back and watch, he's walking around for a while trying to find somebody on live TV.
So do you think everybody signed? Because I know when you go into a live event, they have the posters saying, "Hey, it's a live event. You're accepting being on." But it's still like a kid, and obviously they're protecting him, but anything can kind of go wrong.
I don't know. There's so many questions.
I believe that it was a chosen kid, and I think that the whole thing was exciting. Exciting the universe of him going
somebody
out
said
there
he's
for
a ref's son.
I was about to say that. I was about to say that.
So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, exactly. So
thanks, guys.
I loved it.
Yeah, because if you picked a random kid, the kid could be, walking around the ring, and
it's the pressure of being. Was it 75,000 people or something?
Sheamus and Cesaro are scary to kids. Yeah, like a kid could have easily cried being tagged in.
So good.
He's John Cohn's son. Yeah. Thanks, Dylan.
Oh, okay,
I like the memes, how some people have pictures of the kid versus Goldberg's son in like 20 in like WrestleMania 80 or whatever.
Good.
But this was awesome. Like obviously it couldn't happen, but there was that moment where Braun tags him in, and there's that like,
oh yeah.
And like if he at least tried to do a spear or something, and Cesaro just kind of held his head.
I was a little disappointed he didn't get the pinfall though.
Yeah, or something.
But it was still
it was so good, and I love now that I think in the record books they're the most dominant tag team because they've never lost a match.
Undefeated.
Of course, we know they have to give the belts up because Nicholas has to, scheduling issues. Fourth
He's
grade
finish
calls.
School, man.
Yeah,
fourth grade.
And I think they had posted a letter from the father to school. It's like, he had a long weekend.
I can't wait till this kid turns 18 and just says, "Yeah, I remember that moment."
Oh yeah, he'll wrestle.
Oh my gosh.
If his dad's a ref, he's gonna wrestle.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think about this match? It was like.
I love the Revival.
Like too quick.
I love the Revival. I love Gallows and Anderson. I just feel like there was a conversation once. I can't remember who wrote it, but there was a great article about like the problem when you don't push somebody, no matter how talented they are, is you're constantly telling the audience this person doesn't matter. So no matter how good the match is. And that's sort of, and I love this guy, is Ziggler. The issue with Ziggler is that it is very clear after so many years WWE is not going to push him, so he can put on the best matches in the world, and they can blow you away. but you know they're not going to give them. And it's not that a belt makes somebody, but you also know that, like, well, next week he could be in a sketch backstage, and then at the pay-per-view he's in some 80-man battle royal, and then after that. So it's hard for you to get invested because wrestling at the end of the day is still storyline.
Right.
So I love Gallows and Anderson. I love the Revival. But I can't, as a viewer, get invested when the company itself is going, these guys don't matter so much, we don't even give them entrances.
Right. Yeah, and to be fair, like those two teams are kind of reminiscent of one another. They are kind of in a similar position.
Old school, 80s style,
just
hard brawlers.
Brawlers.
Yeah.
So that was a little odd to see those two facing off, those two teams. But I love all four of them. I think they're excellent.
Yeah, or maybe if they go, Luke and Anderson go with Finn to SmackDown and almost, and New Day.
Do you see Finn going to SmackDown?
I don't know. I mean, if the three of them go, like the three of them together when they were there together for a moment, maybe a couple of weeks ago, like they were together maybe for 3 or 4 weeks, like that is kind of believable because Finn is obviously spearheading it, and they can almost go for a tag team champion or something like that, where now they're rivaling the New Day, the Usos. They that's kind of make a good tag team kind of matchup. A little
Bullet Club reunion.
Yeah. So I mean, again, I'm just I was wrong about The Rock, so I'm just spitballing all this stuff. So Jeff Hardy confronts the new Intercontinental Champion, CrossFit Jesus. I just love that. Seth Rollins.
He has an awesome shirt. I love that shirt, the Monday Night Rollins shirt. That shirt.
Yes, I saw a lot of people wearing it. Yeah, so they were there. So what do you guys think about? I love the match in WrestleMania. That was a really great match.
It was.
Yeah. It was.
So
awesome.
Seth comes out. He's giving his speech. He's thanking everybody. All this good stuff. Then Finn comes out. And it's like, yeah, it's great. Didn't mean to interrupt you, but I want to challenge you. And then The Miz says his loss made his daughter cry, which was kind of funny.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. Yes, that was very good.
I love the crowd all burn it down.
Burn it down. I got behind Burn It Down tonight. I will say that because I didn't like it before, but just the chanting of Burn It Down in support of Rollins, I'm behind it now.
Yeah.
But I don't like it in the song still. But as long as he doesn't wear the flame pants, we're good. We're good.
That's all that matters.
Don't wear the flame pants.
No, but I thought it was good.
Yeah. So Hardy comes out and he's pretty much adding to, which is kind of good because I didn't know if we were going to see him based off of the incident that happened maybe 6 weeks ago.
Well, that and then also being in Brother Nero character in Ultimate Deletion. I was wondering when he came back, would he be Jeff Hardy or would it be
Brother Nero?
Yeah.
So so it appears that he is, because when later on they went back and they were discussing.
Just a little bit of both.
Yeah, it seems like he's kind of
in the middle.
He's towing the line. Yeah,
I'm
a
little disappointed that The Miz didn't win. I really wanted him to be as the champion, just break the record. I'm always behind The Miz. The Miz is my favorite.
Miz is the best.
I think he's
fantastic.
Fantastic on the mic. He knows what he's doing. I like the way he presents himself, especially how he takes the whole Hollywood gimmick so seriously. And obviously we're here and we know what Hollywood was really like, but at the same time he's taking that and also bringing personal issues to his promos. I just love The Miz. He's
I'm
cool
surprised
dude.
he's still I wonder if he's going to take some time off. Like, this is set up to, they have the event in, is it Saudi Arabia? So they have the event in Saudi Arabia coming up in a few weeks, so he's probably going for that. Like, I wonder if he's going to take some weeks off leading up to that and then, rev it up for...
Like maternity
Backlash?
Yeah.
He'll be at Backlash. Given that, I don't believe he should have eaten that pin. Because if he's challenging...
Tonight or WrestleMania?
Tonight. I don't think he should have eaten the pin tonight if he's challenging Rollins, if he's doing the clause, the former champion clause, he shouldn't have eaten the pin because that's the point of Bo, and that's why you have cronies.
Fair.
But we may be jumping ahead. We can talk about the match later.
But also you got Miz coming out looking like Naruto.
Yeah, but awesome promo.
Yeah.
That, very funny, very, very funny.
Yeah, like we could have the show would have been great with minus a few of the matches, but this match was definitely important. So Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Oh gosh.
They don't know what they want to do, and it's so obvious.
They're the modern day Trish and Lita. When it comes to their friendship.
Oh, sure, yeah, yes, I agree with that. I wish that they would showcase that a little more
Yeah.
and not do this weird like Cameron mentioned earlier. They can't decide
Well,
who's
it's like
the heel, who's
pull the
bad
trigger.
guy.
Like they don't know is it Bayley who's attacking from behind in the locker rooms, but then Bayley's coming out and going like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry." And,
Do you think like creative doesn't know what?
I think
to
they don't
do?
know. I think they
Okay.
Or
legitimately
maybe
don't know.
Bailey tried to sell as a heel, like as far as like practice, and it just wasn't working.
But it's also weird because like Sasha, that character, the boss, this arrogant boss character, and she did it in NXT, is such a natural heel.
And it fits Sasha.
And it's so weird that they've only kind of skirted against maybe making Sasha heel since she's come to the main roster, and they
Right.
have not done it in 2 years. And it's incredible to me between Charlotte, between everyone else she's facing, Bayley, they have not pulled the trigger on like
I miss-
heel ass Sasha.
I
and
think
I'm
you mean
like,
Ratchet Sasha.
oh yeah, never
I
forget.
would, like Alexa does because I remember when she used to throw the fits when she wouldn't get a pin. She and Alexa does it now, and it's awesome. But I wish that they would go back to bratty Sasha,
Yeah.
just like
Well, it
just
seems-
fight the audience.
And that seems to be the weird thing is like, again, like, we talked about it last week where it's like the matches between the women are great, but the storylines, they seem to kind of still not know what to do. And I talk about that they can't seem to come up with many storylines outside of like, well, one of them wants the belt.
Right.
And that's it. Who wants the belt?
Well,
Yeah.
And it feels like a little bit like that where it's like, Alexa's the woman heel.
Yeah.
We have one.
Yeah.
What about the rest?
Oh, they're all crazy.
Yeah, it's like they're adding it. It's like we had a good roster, like maybe a year ago, and then they added some women, and it's like they don't know what to do with all these women because now they're adding more, and I'm sure they're gonna be adding some more from NXT because we saw them up here, the Battle Royale. So it's just kind of like we have all these women, we don't know what to do, and now it's like the men, some of them are just gonna be floating, which kind of sucks because
They're gonna get Summer Raid.
Right. Like we some of these women, like, the boss, like we've kind of invested in them because we've seen them almost grow up. And it's like now they're gonna just kind of I hope it doesn't happen, but it seems like we're on the way because there's just so many great women. Yeah. It's nice to see them there, but now there's not enough time. Like,
Well,
it's 3 hours for Raw.
It's also that weird thing where it's like them being best friends. It only works, I think, if you watch Up, Up, Down, Down and follow them on Instagram. Because if you just watch NXT into the
don't
main
get it.
roster, you'd be like, these two
How did they
hated
become
each other.
friends? How?
Or maybe it's setting up for like like I said before, a tag team, because now we have so many women that we can do a tag team match, and maybe if they can't decide what to do with
A
them,
tag team championship would be awesome.
right?
Yeah, I'd
then
love
them
that.
together, almost like almost like your friend is your enemy type thing. Them
Yeah.
together, it's like, okay, well now they both have an opportunity to get the belts, so now they work together, but. Then you kind of see their, you have some of those friends where they're like your friends and you love them, but then they do some cray-ish and you're like, all right, because we're friends, like I'm gonna. So that might work, and I think there's gonna be enough women that we can kind of do a shake.
I mean, I hope, because it did seem like to me when it was like, okay, Alexa's the heel, but then and we'll get into this in a moment, but it's like Paige came back and it was her and
Absolution.
Mandy Rose, Absolution, Sonya Deville, and so it looked like, okay, they are allowing other heel women,
Right.
And then Paige got hurt, and then they were like, well, we don't know what to do now, because as great as Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose are, they're not really. They just
don't
kind
have
of
the star power.
They just kind of come and do
Yeah.
matches. They
Yeah.
don't really get
Yeah,
mic
they-
time.
yeah.
yeah.
They are great, but they don't have the star power that Paige had or could provide for them.
Yeah. So Mandy Rose defeats Sasha Banks and Bayley, and then Paige comes up, and I know we've all been like talking about, we've all kind of assumed it. She announces that she's gonna be retiring, which is kind of sad because
Very sad.
her movie's gonna be coming out that The
Yeah.
Rock produced. So you're gonna see the life story, but it's just like, if you put so much time into a sport from so young, I believe she was like 12 when she started or something like that, and you thought about nothing else.
Yeah, there's nothing else for you in life. You
Right.
feel that way.
You don't.
at
Yeah,
least.
you don't know. You don't know what else to do because you never explored anything else. So it sounded like she was done, like wrestling, like anything to do with wrestling.
Well, I kind of wonder if that's to something, because the story came out because it was the Madison Square Garden house show where Sasha kicked her, and then there's that video out there. If you haven't seen the video of like, it's camera phone footage of like, they thought it was a stinger at first where like Paige tries to push herself up off the mat, and then
Right.
her like arms just collapse under
yeah.
her. She couldn't move for a while, so she got taken out, and that was right before the Rumble, so it was like November, December when that happened. And that's when Meltzer and all these other things started being like, we hear she's done. And she was still, and now we're in April. And so I kind of wonder if there was a degree of like, I think they knew she was done by then, but I
Right.
think it's also, she's only like 24, 25.
Very young, very young.
So I'm sure there's a degree of like, stick around, see how you're doing. If you want to be a manager, blah blah blah, and see how you like that. And she might have said like, I gotta.
Well, she just started her like online store, so she has that going for her. And I mean,
what is the online store? What does she sell?
I think she's like it's clothing,
T-shirts.
T-shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she's doing that.
It's partnered with Blackcraft.
Okay.
And we saw that with Brian. We saw when Brian had to leave. He was like, I gotta go for a while.
He compared it to a breakup with a girlfriend who's asking you to hang out like every weekend. Like what? No.
Yeah, it's not, especially when you can't leave on your own terms. Like I've definitely been there where it's just like I had 2 hamstring injuries and I didn't want to see a track. I didn't want to meet. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And it literally took me maybe about 5 or 6 years to actually get to the point where now I actually call track events, but I'm now comfortable with it, right? And I had to figure out what I'm going to do with my life because I was literally spending 6 to 7 hours on the track. So you really don't have any time to do anything else. So, you know, fortunately she has, I'm assuming she did well with her money. So she has enough money where she can float around for a little bit and figure it out, opposed to like, oh crap, I need to get a job. Hopefully.
Yeah. And I mean, thankfully, I think she's been in the business long enough and there's enough, great little promotions out there. It wouldn't shock me if she becomes something at NXT, like in the Performance Center.
If she wants to.
If she wants to. And if she wants to get away from wrestling, she's, again, there's a movie about to come out about her life. You know,
and that commercial was
Yikes spikes.
The WrestleMania commercial.
Right.
Well, I think that's a commercial clearly because I've not seen that anywhere else but WWE. So I'm like, okay, that's made for wrestling fans. I want to see a trailer that's not for.
Oh, the trailer is fine. It was just the intro to the trailer.
She looked a little,
yeah.
Not handling either her medication well
or maybe the producers didn't tell her, okay, now we're on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could have been edited or something. It was just kind of very,
a little awkward.
Very, very awkward.
For me, Paige has been a very big influence for me. A big fan of her, always had when she came into NXT. The youngest ever to hold the NXT title and first woman, as well as the Divas Championship. She had that amazing storyline with AJ Lee, and AJ Lee made her become, in my opinion, a bigger star.
Yeah, I agree. The one person they never talk about when they talk about the Divas Revolution.
Yeah, she's been removed, stripped from the history books.
I'm so mad. Sorry.
Any special on the WWE, all you ever see is Paige pinning her. That's the only mention you ever get of AJ Lee.
Which is kind of crazy.
But like with Paige, like she's always gonna be my favorite. She's an inspiration to a lot of people. She's been in this business so long, and thank you, Paige. Thank you for everything you've done, because you're now inspiring other people to chase their own dreams. Even though you're not able to continue to with yours, there's other aspects in WWE that she can do.
Yeah. And you never know. She's young. Her body, your body can heal.
Daniel Bryan.
So you just never know. It's possible. Yeah. It's definitely possible as long as she's taking care of her body. If she kind of lets it go, that's a whole nother issue. But she leaves her shirt in the ring and she says, "This will always be my house," which, you know, kind of sad.
It's very, very sad.
Yeah.
So this sounds terrible, but in with old, out with the kind of old new. So Elias, I honestly thought that I liked that Nicholas was Braun's partner, but I honestly thought it was gonna be Elias and Braun, which we were saying in the beginning.
I think we all did until he was part of the Cena segment. Then I was like, oh no, he's not.
Yeah. Oh, that's. Cena thing was terrible. But Bobby, so Elias is in there. He's going to do his song. He says, you know, all this other, he does the Elias stuff.
The crowd was with him in a big way.
His shirt is the #1 selling shirt, I believe, and let me know in the chat because I know
I
you guys
love
will.
it because on our show, I was like, I'm all about the drifter. And Iffy was like, why? He's dumb.
Yeah.
And I was right.
Yeah, they push, it's kind of like they pushed him. Is like, I don't know, it's like, you know, that kid who
it was smart that
they
made him a heel character.
Yeah.
If they had brought in this drifter singer and tried to face him, it would have not worked.
Yes.
But the fact that day one, the minute he was on the main roster, he was this arrogant heel that's like, everyone shut up, I'm the best.
And the time is getting longer. Horribly.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So he's in there, he's doing his, you know, Elias walk with Elias thing, and Bobby Lashley.
Hell yeah.
Bobby Lashley, this is going to be interesting because Bobby Lashley, I think a lot of people now who really pay attention to wrestling and watch wrestling are like, he peaked too early in WWE. He's much better now. He knows what he's doing now, and he could probably do a lot better in WWE now. So I'm very excited to see what happens. There's, of course, talks that he's probably going to be the one that actually brings down Brock.
That's what I was thinking too. It's funny
be.
because hours before the show, there was a picture floating around of that, and then it kind of, I felt like obviously it ruined the surprise. But Bobby Lashley, welcome back.
Yeah.
My God, amazing career in WWE, ECW champion. Was partnering with Donald Trump during that WrestleMania.
Hey, he was beloved at the time.
He was WrestleMania 22 in the ladder match that he did. Amazing. So glad that he's back. Now I'm curious what he's going to be able to do.
Well, I'm very curious because he was debatably, because famously him becoming ECW champion was why Paul Heyman left originally.
I thought it was Vince McMahon.
No, Heyman wanted CM Punk to be the ECW champion in that famous December to Dismember. And debatably, Bobby Lashley at that point was the Roman Reigns of that day, where Vince is like, here's my guy. And everyone's like, why?
It's huge.
Yeah, he's big. He's bigger than anybody.
He's
Look how
the
big
biggest
he is.
one.
Look at his pecs. He's the
look,
guy.
And then look where CM Punk is now.
I know, he's about to have another match.
Oh boy.
But so it's interesting. It'll be very interesting to see that like a former Vince boy is back, but much better than he used to be. And what's going to happen with that? I'm very fascinated.
Well, I
He's
think
probably real excited.
how they did it was perfect because now it piqued everybody's curiosity. So he picks Elias up with a stalling standing suplex.
Oh man, he held him
Elias,
so long.
Yeah,
Yes.
that alone tells you that this guy's been in the gym.
He's ready.
The fact that he could do that for so long, like he's definitely ready. So
Yes.
now we're looking forward to seeing what happens. And just for time's sake, let's get to the good stuff. So Samoa Joe,
Oh
confronts Roman
yeah,
Reigns.
Samoa
man.
Joe.
He's been out for a while. He
So
says,
Samoa Joe.
so pretty much like Roman Reigns, bit
Yeah.
the dirt with this.
Oh my God, I loved everything Samoa Joe said. His whole thing about like you get
Oh,
messed
yeah.
up every time and you come out making excuses.
Yeah.
Keep failing. That makes you a failure.
I liked everything about this.
I love him.
I like Roman Reigns because he works his butt off. He really does. He
does, yeah.
And I'm sure it's fun to boo him and everything like that. But at the end of the day, you have to realize this guy
It's a hard
is a
worker.
hard
He's
worker.
the leader. He's the locker room leader.
Exactly. And to bring back Samoan Joe it brings
But Joe is.
brings it 10 times more better.
Well, I think this is the thing about Roman Reigns, and I'm sure people in the chat will say something, and it's like, oh, at this point now it's just a fan cliche to boo Roman Reigns.
Right.
I don't think it is, because this is my honest to God question. Look at all the faces we've seen throughout the years. What is Roman's character? As a face, he's never come in to save anybody. He's never come in to do the right thing.
He's the big dog.
His character is give me titles,
Right.
and he
Yeah.
keeps getting title shots, and then he keeps
yeah.
losing. John Cena has come in to be like, I'm going to do the right thing. He runs in, he does stuff.
Because that's-
Roman Reigns, as far as I'm concerned, his character is space pirate from the future who can punch people, and I don't know why that's worth cheering. 4 WrestleManias in a row, and I'm like, I can't pinpoint his character other than like the big dog, which I'm like, well, that's not a character. Stone Cold was a character. Hulk Hogan, awful man.
Right.
I could say this is that character. He would go in and be like, oh my God, the heels are beating up somebody. Who's going to come? And here comes Hulk Hogan. Roman Reigns has never done, and
Right.
obviously it's the writers. It's not Roman the
Right.
man.
Right. Yeah.
It's the writers. They have never given him anything
If
that
you
makes
were
me
to-
go, oh, I get this character now.
Right.
I agree. If you were to ask a kid, like, why do you like Roman?
I think
Because he's big
he
and
looks
he's
cool.
strong and he looks cool.
Well,
but
there-
he's not a good guy necessarily.
Yeah. Well, there has been like a push to not do necessarily characters anymore, like as far as babyface and heel, and more
Yeah.
just the personality. So there has been that push that you just look at their names. They're no longer Ricky Steam. Like they're no longer those kind of names. They're more like just names. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. It feels like he just needs to make a decision, and that's what we all need to do in an entertainment industry before, like whether you're wrestling or not, or if you're a host or whatever, you have to make a decision on this is the person I'm going to be and stick to it.
And I think it also doesn't help that he's done many public interviews, which is fine, but he's done many public interviews where
And
he's
his wife
like,
is hot, by the way.
Where
Oh my God.
he's done many public interviews where he said like, I just do what they tell me. I'm there to collect a check. And we've heard throughout the years like Cena, Stone Cold, CM Punk, all these guys go.
They
They said
fight.
this is my storyline, and I went, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
argued with them.
They argue, they
And I
fight.
think that's maybe why we have had 4 WrestleMania main events in a year, and everyone's like, I'm bored. And I don't think it's just dislike of a guy because he's good looking or all this other stuff. It's like
No.
there's not a storyline other than Vince says do this, and he goes, all right.
Yeah.
And then Superman punches
And he
people.
does his best
Yeah.
impression of what Vince wants, and it's not what we want.
Yeah, because it would be definitely a great battle if he had some type of angle, and John Cena.
And the angle is just, give me that championship. And even John Cena has had like the give me the championship angle, but he's also like, I'm going in there to do this. I'm going in there to do this. And I have never heard a Reigns angle outside of, give me the belt. I'm the man. And I think also he would have benefited a lot more if when the Shield broke up, he wasn't stuck with, well, you're going to keep the Shield music, the Shield look, and the Shield this, while the other two guys do their own thing.
Right.
They should have completely changed up every.
Because usually, you know how hype it would have been when they were reunited and had that music?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been
well, because
so
also,
good.
you know who, when they did a group breakup and it was like, you're going to wear this and this is what you're going to look like and you're going to keep doing the thing the group did, even though everyone else broke up, was X-Pac. And I love X-Pac.
Oh, yeah.
But he got nuclear heat because he seemed to be, and again, not him, not Sean Waltman, the man. The storylines just seem to be like, well, you're going to desperately hold on to this popular thing while everyone else gets to do stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm glad Samoa Joe is back.
Oh, I love him.
Very, very grateful.
Very excited.
It could be too. I mean, how many writers do you think are on for each show?
I think it depends. I think I've heard somewhere between like 15 to 20.
Oh, wow.
Because it seems like, and 15 to 20, like you'll obviously have the head ones, and then it's probably.
But
levels.
you also have I think you have assigned wrestlers.
Yeah,
like you're
they
writing
give you-
for.
they say, write
Joe.
for these people.
You're Joe's
Oh.
writer. You're this person's
Okay, well
writer.
then,
Yeah,
in that
Jimmy
case,
Jacobs
then
said something
they
like
need
that.
to.
Well, I think Reigns' writer's Vince.
But it's, yeah, exactly. It's those ones.
Well,
I mean, that's
then
what he has.
maybe the case with that is, obviously, because Vince is older, he's doing more of like an old school, whereas he's not advancing with the times. Like maybe you need somebody like, so for instance,
He's playing with his toy, his favorite toy.
Exactly. So it's like you have somebody do social media. It's like, yeah, you put a couple hashtags, but somebody actually legit knows how to do social media. That's two different things.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, maybe if Vince is the one, then maybe he needs a new writer with a new.
Well, that's part of the struggle with Triple H too. Like Triple H often fights. Go ahead. With what you were saying.
No, you go.
No, that's fine. That's all I was going to
What I was going to say is I think there's the thing of like, and Stone Cold's talked about this, and Shawn Michaels, even The Undertaker, Mick Foley, they've all talked about like, oh, I took off in a big way when I kind of played a natural version of myself at 10. If you watch interviews with Roman, like in life when he's just like being himself and he's in character, he is a mildly arrogant guy who's like, yeah, I'm good looking and I know how to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let him be that.
Yeah.
And I want to see that guy wrestle.
Let him be a heel.
Yeah.
He's just
Like when he
I'm the
did in
best
like
deal.
FCW NXT,
Yeah.
where he was so cocky.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely buy that. It's like, yeah, you're hot and you can fight. Like,
Yeah. He
Like,
should be
Samoan,
the
yeah.
Samoan Ric
Badass,
Flair
yeah.
to some extent. That's what The Rock
Yeah.
was. He should be the Samoan Ric Flair. He's like, I'm in the best suits and I'm with a new woman every night. Shockers. Roman Reigns, give me the belt. And I'd be like, oh, I hate him. Get on the belt.
so welcome Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. This was awesome because we didn't know what happened to Bray. So Bray appeared at WrestleMania. And speaking of two other people that they have no idea what to do with, they defeat Titus Worldwide and the tag team eliminator.
I'm glad they gave Bray something.
Yeah. I want to know why Michael Cole keeps like crapping all over the Woken stuff. Like, because Michael Cole's supposed to be like the play-by-play, but slightly the face guy too. So I don't understand
You know
why
what?
he is crapping all over the Woken stuff.
Maybe he should go to TNA.
No,
Oh, we gotta talk about that.
That
So that brings us to Sammy and KO.
Jeez, yeah.
Unexpected Sammy and Kevin on Raw. I'm a big
Yeah.
Kevin Owens mark. Huge Kevin Owens fan. So I was really excited.
Yeah,
Right,
so
Steve,
I mean,
right.
there was, we all kind of, it's one of those matches where we all kind of knew that Titus Worldwide was not going to make it, even though.
Sorry,
whatever.
Titus.
Yeah, no. I did love their back and forth between Worldwide.
Yeah, but you can see here, you could hear who's louder. Like it's one of those whoever. Yeah. Anyways. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and they show up with suits and hats in hand, begging for a job from Kurt Angle. Like, were they expecting Kurt not to know what happened on SmackDown? Like, was very confusing, like,
That was a little
Kurt
odd.
still has his job after beating up Triple H and Stephanie. I'm
Yeah.
not worried about logic.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we did see Kurt. Okay, I forgot about that part. Because I was wondering what he looked banged up and everything. I guess I just heard it because I didn't see that, but
Yeah.
I saw what Kevin and Sammy.
So Kurt
Yeah.
says he has one position left. You guys have to duke it out, and that was the last fight. We'll get it. We'll do that last
yeah.
fight, and then we'll go into.
And I loved. I have a family. I got kids.
Oh yeah, I got
It's like,
kids.
you don't have
I
any
thought that
kids.
was very
Like,
funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
very funny.
And then TNA.
the
The
TNA dig
comment. Holy
by
crap!
Kurt Angle.
This is the
that
first
was
time, like
cold-blooded.
WWE, like the last year, they have not said New Japan yet, but they will still do Tokyo Dome and all this other stuff. And WWE has always never really talked about other promotions existing, and now they are, and it's fascinating.
It's so crazy how about almost like 10 plus years ago, people who left WWE went to TNA, and now
they're
people
all
from
coming
TNA
back.
they're coming back.
Jeff Jarrett inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Samoa Joe.
Yep.
Well,
But
they
a great
had
match.
no contest.
I actually love that. I thought that was like a
I
real
thought that
great
was
troll.
gonna happen.
I
Yeah.
thought that was
What
a
a
great
good
troll
match,
move.
though.
Yeah.
Awesome match. After all these matches that they've put on over the years, I love that they can just like go into spots like nothing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're gonna do this spot, that spot, and it's just so fluid.
So obviously, I'm hoping that I don't think they're really fired. So I'm hoping they're still on.
We'll
so
see
like,
what
how
happens
do you
with the
think?
shakeup, yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
that Angle, or do you think Angle moves over? Do you like what do you guys think that they're gonna stay on Raw? And
I just hope they stay together. That's all.
I know, they're
just
so
really
good
hope
together.
they
I'm
stay
feeling
together.
that they're gonna split.
Well, because they were both on different brands before, and
Yeah.
that broke my heart because I love to see them work together.
Yeah.
But so this has been so fun to see. But I don't know. It could be either one.
we'll see. Next week is gonna be an interesting week. And I skipped a little around a little bit, but last
Authors
but not
of
least,
Pain came
Oh
in.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
Squash match.
yeah. So, but they kind of came up too.
Yeah.
But then
And
they
they
walked
got rid
right
of
past
Paul.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the part where
Paul might not want to travel as much. That
I
might be.
just-
That might be a.
He's like,
I like
I
staying
live
in
in Florida.
Florida.
I'm retired.
I'll stay in full sail.
I brought you this far.
the moment when Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens came in, and Kurt was like, "Well, I don't have enough room for tag teams," and then here comes Authors of Pain.
that was my favorite. We only have room for so many. I wanted like one call-up to happen. He goes, "I'm so sorry. I only had enough room on my roster for one." I didn't know when NXT was coming.
So, do you think any more people are gonna come up from NXT?
Yeah, I think SmackDown obviously is tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm wondering if we're gonna see Almas because he lost
Yeah.
the belt.
Yeah.
He did drop the title.
belt, but I feel like there's a natural second match there.
Hopefully they keep, I would like to see them keep him down there a little bit longer just for, the
Yeah.
story, for that match.
I want Sanity to come back because I really want to see Nikki Cross on the main roster.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Sanity would be that'd be a good addition.
We'll see if we get either Ciampa or Gargano. But Gargano, I think, is going to stay down there because that was the stipulation of the match.
Yes. Yeah,
but
that he
we
got his
might
job
see
back.
we might see Ciampa.
Ciampa, yeah.
Yeah, that
Interesting.
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's going to be
Excellent.
a very interesting couple weeks because I feel with the shakeup and people being brought up from NXT, there are going to be some people that are going to get that magical tweet where they didn't realize that they're no longer with WWE, but they're no longer with WWE, which is terrible. But I think it's definitely happening.
Yeah.
The spring clean.
Yeah, especially with the
just like
floaters and
When JR didn't realize he got drafted to SmackDown until live on TV.
yeah,
Oh my
That was
God.
horrible.
yeah. So what's the predictions for next week? Really quickly, because
Next week, Superstar Shakeup. I think the biggest shakeup they can do, honestly, is Daniel Bryan to Raw because he's a superstar now.
Yeah.
And they go, yeah, I think that's going to be the last thing.
like that.
think the very last thing is going to be like, Raw drafts Daniel Bryan. And then he's going to be like in his suit, like,
I think they're gonna draft Alexa Bliss back to SmackDown.
okay.
I can see
I
that.
can see Kevin coming back to Raw. I can see Kevin and Sammy both coming on to Raw.
And then
I
put
think-
Dean Ambrose anywhere because I want him back.
I think
my
going
God,
lower
I hope
mid
he
card,
heals
I could
soon.
see Corbin going to Raw too. I think
I
they're
would
going to
like
call
that.
up one of those
I
guys.
would like that.
Yeah.
It just actually made me think about. Remember I was saying they might do some spring cleaning. So you guys heard of Alicia Fox? She got into a little bit of a tiff with Ronda Rousey's husband.
Yeah.
Really?
I did not hear this.
No.
So apparently,
Foxy.
yeah, Foxy. She was out there. Did I say? Yeah, I said yeah.
Yeah.
Alicia Fox, Foxy was out there, and apparently, I don't know if Travis said something to her or she mistook something, but you got a little bit of a video of her pointing her finger at him, pretty much cuss him out, and then somebody came over to her and was like, it was somebody's videotaping you, so she turns, smashes or slaps the camera out of the way. Here's the thing: I think she was supposed to be in the Battle Royale, right? And she was. They pulled her out and they said she was injured. But how do you get injured like the day of or the
I
day
thought
before?
she was always injured because she hasn't
She
been on
wasn't at
TV
the
in a
Rumble
while.
either.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
She was at the announcement for the
just didn't
Rumble,
clear
but
her.
then
Yeah.
wasn't there. Yeah.
But they said that she was supposed to. Thank you, Travis Brown. They said that she was supposed to be in it, and then they took her out.
Oh.
So I don't know.
Interesting.
So I almost feel like they haven't done anything with her, so she might get
Yikes.
that.
she might get future endeavored.
Yeah.
Which would be weird because I think now she's like the longest lasting
Right,
female
well,
superstar.
they
But
at
they're not
least
doing
gave her
anything with
the,
her.
the
No,
nice
they're not.
goodbye with the shirt and everything. They gave her that.
Yeah, the one shirt.
The one shirt.
Oh my
So,
God.
Rosita.
And we also saw a lot of matches getting announced for both Backlash and the Dubai show.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that show.
It's gonna be a lot
So,
of
Yeah.
fun.
We'll see what happens. I'm definitely excited. WrestleMania was awesome.
Good weekend.
Except for the
Yeah.
Taker thing, but we'll discuss it later. Other than that, where can everybody find you guys?
At Janel SantaCruz on all the social medias. Big Overwatch fan, big wrestling fan. I stream Overwatch, professional Overwatch. Not professional, amateur. Competitive Overwatch. But yeah.
As for me, twitter.com/Jurassic Alien. You can find me over at HyperRPG. I write the Power Ranger show. I host and write a horror 80s slasher-esque kind of show.
Yes,
And then
very
me and Janelle play Indomitable, which is HeroClix on Thursday
HeroClix.
nights.
Nice. I'm Anissa Barr. Follow me on social media at Anissa Barr. Part of the panel of Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly here on AfterBuzz TV. Today, I actually became part of the Bella Army. Shocking to a lot of people. Shocking to a lot of people. Shocked myself. But I'm so excited for Total Bellas to return.
Very cool.
And
It's
talk
good.
about
It's
it.
a
It's
good
going to
show.
be a good show.
So somebody on the chat said that Foxy wasn't cleared, so
Oh, okay. So she was falsely announced, I guess.
still
Yeah.
that finger pointing
Yeah.
to Ronda Rousey, and she's best friends with Triple H is
The X-Bikes, yeah.
not good.
Oops.
The bingo bongo.
I really appreciate you guys on the live chat. Definitely keep it coming. Like I said, for you guys who are joining late or tuned out or whatever, they are coming back. I don't know when they're coming back. Hit them up on their Twitter, all that good stuff. I just show up. Just show up. I'm on the lower end of the totem pole. But other than that, you can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. You can find me talking smack. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Talking smack on TMZ, talking about all that good stuff and, wearing my WWE shirts because somebody sent me a truckload of them. So
Heck
yeah.
at least
More?
Nice.
representing a lot of folks. That's the Cena shirt. Other than that,
That's a good
we
shirt.
will catch you guys next week. Again, I don't know who's going to be here, but I will be here for sure.
She just shows up.
Just shows up. Talk to you guys later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.